It's a brand new week on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi-Brown. As always, I have my lovely co-host here with me. Hi, ladies.
Hi, Mariah.
Hey, Nima, in the building.
Yo, yo, yo.
How you doing?
Someone should be very lively. It was a very busy, difficult weekend for me.
Yeah.
Starting with Friday, long stay at the police station. Then Saturday, back at the police station to the burial. And I got this very...
arrested?
I'm representing my people.
Our client was arrested.
So my client was actually trying to arrest somebody reporting a case, so we had to do that. Then on Saturday, I got this very, very heavy loaded hug from Your View fan, Mrs. Adigu. He says, just greet everybody. I said, okay, that hug, the way it was for everybody. It was a very heavy one.
Let me jump to
Esther and her husband.
Esther, how was your weekend? I like your nails. They're beautiful.
Thank you. I think that was what the weekend was about. Trying to
hair and nails.
You gotta, you're still in the market and making.
See, you're not in the market again. Please,
no,
choose one story. Are you in the market? You're not in the market.
When you're not,
she's not married.
If you're not wearing the ring, you're still in the market.
Okay, so brother, she's telling you put the ring on the finger, so we know she's out of the market. All right, I've told the message to you.
Oh my God.
How you doing, Madam Dari?
I'm doing very well. We thank God for a restful weekend. I had a long weekend though, right? It was good.
Seems very friendly these days. I'm just hearing good things. Oh, Jumoke did this. Jumoke did that. I'm like, hey, okay, this is Jumoke.
Jumoke has always been friendly, Mariah. The only thing is that some people who will not do what they ought to do, because Jumoke is also very honest, they will find that distasteful because she will say it to you exactly the way it is. So if you are my friend, when you do well, I will commend you, Kushe, Mariah, well done. But when you now do
wrong, just abuse you a bit. It seems like the people from that your constituency are like that. they know how to sing.
Have you seen my new senator?
What constituency?
Senatorial dancing all around.
Have you seen my new senator?
Like 4 videos of you dancing.
Did you hear this song? Oh yeah, Binu. No.
But it runs in the gene.
I can see.
They have like musicians.
Before we start getting excited, I have an apology. Listen. I goofed. And whenever I goof, I must accept I goofed.
Okay.
The entrepreneurity event that I went on Saturday. I honestly didn't prepare for that speaking engagement. I think I took my audience for granted, and I felt really bad. I think I really did horribly. So I'm going to find a way to make it up. But honestly, I felt really bad. You know, when you go somewhere and somebody introduces you as the best speaker, they hyped you as if all the speakers did not show up, it has to be this. And I'm wondering, okay, shame me no, sorry. And I got there and I just. So I really apologize for my goof, and I hope that.
But you think that's
learning? I think in future, I always refer to this experience because it was a big experience for me. It's like I think I would never ever stay in front of anybody if I'm not prepared.
But people left that place with something you gave them.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Let's take a break now. Anything interesting? Nothing juice. No hot juice.
There's juicy juice.
I have like a few seconds for you. Give me the gist.
Over the weekend, right? Have I forgotten it? I was going to mention what happened over the weekend. Maybe I'll remember when we're doing newspaper review.
First of all. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to start with the Punch. Punch is highly commercialized this morning, so I wonder. Mago, presidency gets legal advice to approach Supreme Court. That's the only story in Punch. So, and
is straight to the point. The acting president has been mentioning for a bit that the government is going to go to court for the Supreme Court to interpret what exactly the role of the National Assembly is. Are they supposed to add and subtract from our budget, or they're just supposed to proofread and do the due diligence to just ensure that whatever the government has budgeted to do is in the interest of the people? So we're just waiting.
Controversial section 171 of the Constitution they're trying to...
my opinion on the issue is that the Constitution seemed a little silent, right, on which agencies of the federal government, the presidency has the power to unilaterally appoint the chairman. But the EFCC Act came after that constitution, and it's supposed to complement the constitution.
That's why we have the Supreme Court
to interpret.
All right, so let's wait for the Supreme Court. Moving on to The Nation. EFCC to seize Diezani's Aluko's Dubai mansions. Federal wins 8th Wimbledon title. Presidency insists no Senate confirmation for Mago. CGN's ruling boosts confidence. APC slams PDP as opposition party plans convention. Let's keep praying for Buhari, says Tinubu. Lagos deposes abducted Baale. Omeru set for wolves medical test today, and Oyo gets $5 billion pledge from China for FTZ. So, which story are we taking?
I remember what I wanted to say. I was going to talk about the Lagos State local government elections on Saturday. Okay. They're going to restrict movement, so people should plan ahead. That's what I wanted to banter on. But I was going to quickly pick the Lagos deposing the Baale of Shangisha.
I think our Baale, but at least now.
But what happened? Let me tell the story quickly. The Baale had feigned his own kidnap, you know, agitating. You know how it is that we're still waiting for the Ekpe boys, and all of a sudden you hear that a Baale was kidnapped.
We read that story already. So yeah, what's the abducted issue? The fact that was deposed.
So the Lagos State government suspended him last week, and over the weekend deposed him. Yes. You know, saying that what he did was totally unacceptable.
Let me stripped of his position. Any other story?
Underneath, what happened was because there was a contention in that area on lands and all those things, and there was.
We talked about it last week. Where
on Friday, it was in the papers.
Yes, on the papers. We faked it. He faked his kidnap.
Which other
should we move on to the Tinubu story? Who read that was saying that Buhari should continue to pray for our president, and anybody can be ill? Nothing new, actually.
I think I read the APC talking to the PDP that they should not think that this court judgment right now is like a goal for them in 2019. But and they also told Nigerians that they should not be expecting that the 4 years of this tenure, they should expect that they will win, as in they will give back all their promises.
Don't say that to Jumoke's ears, please. Let's move on.
When they were reading out their manifesto, they did not tell us it was an 8-year manifesto.
It was a 4-year plan, right?
Yes.
Okay, Daily Sun. Diezani, more kind of worms. U.S. court documents leak how Minister Aluko Omokore fleeced Nigeria of billions. That was a depressing article. PDP, we have to be more vigilant, says Wike. Ohaneze Arewa youth set to hold peace meeting. FG uncovers illegal recruitment in MDAs. And Lagos deposes suspended Baale, announces a movement restriction on Saturday.
Yes. I would like to take the Arewa youth.
Yes.
That was an outcome of a meeting they had yesterday. And they had an agreement, the Ohaneze youth and the Arewa youth, and they said, okay, Ohaneze said, we don't agree with the agitation of a separation, but also we need a restructuring so that every part of the country will benefit from everything that they make. Then the Arewa youth said, okay, yes, we are thinking of retracting our words to say we are removing the Igbos from the, we are sacking them, quick notice from the northern regions. Yeah, but at the same time, they are saying that this man,
Nnamdi
Kanu must be punished for what he did. Right. So they set a 6-member committee to have another meeting. Now, this was in Abuja, which actually is affiliated to the north. Right. So now they're going back to Enugu, so where they will still have. So this is actually
it's a step in the right direction. Yes, at least both of them are coming together.
Unfortunately, they have disagreements within the Ohaneze saying that the faction that went for this meeting is a suspended faction, and that the issue of their leader Nnamdi Kanu, the suggestion that he should be punished was not discussed. None of his issues were discussed. That they can never ever disown that movement. So I don't understand where that direction is. But I wanted to take the Saturday ban. Restriction on movement by the Lagos State. It's supposed to be the day for elections for the local government and the LCDA's elections. And unfortunately, every event we have planned that day will have to be on hold from 8 to 2 p.m.
Right. Unfortunately.
So I have an event in Unilag.
That day too.
A lot of people have events.
I've even committed that, and it happens to be my daughter's awards night. I hope the people that are watching, that invited me for that Unilag talk are watching.
Yeah, so it's not that everybody knows it's a
please.
You want to move on? I was going to talk about the federal government and the acting Secretary General of the Federation, Dr. Abiba Lawal, saying that they discovered that some federal MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies were recruiting without due process. So they've written a letter to all the MDAs and said to them, this is illegal. They should stop doing it. Unfortunately, this has ballooned the federal government's monthly payments, you know.
Workers' salary payments.
And we always find ghost workers. How are we unable to nip it in the board?
I wish we could.
Let's move on to Vanguard. You guys are not touching the design. It's nowhere else in the papers. Moving on to Vanguard. Arewa youths to review stand on October 1 quit notice. We talked about that. North to South, Middle Belt, take your restructuring case to National Assembly. I read that story. And a killer of soldier army lays siege to Delta and Bajelsa communities. Okay, this North telling South of Middle Belt to take their restructuring case to National Assembly. They were saying that they don't understand why the Southern and Middle Belt leaders are, first of all, clamoring for restructuring. That those who came to that meeting, first of all, are not elected representatives. So they don't have the authority to be asking for that restructuring. And even though they are asking for restructuring, there is a process for restructuring. That they already have representatives in the House, in the National Assembly. What you need to do is get your reps, convince them, write the modalities of a restructuring. What does it mean? Exactly. We're just hearing the word restructuring. What? Break it down.
And who gets what? It means different things to different people.
So that was not the saying that, listen, we don't mind restructuring, but let it be broken down into what exactly happens. And before I know, go through the right process of going to the National Assembly.
The honest truth, National Assembly is the only one that can call for restructuring.
Yes.
Unless they do it, all of it is talk show.
Because it needs to actually come out in our constitution.
Right.
Can we take the design just?
Oh yes, take the design because
papers. Okay. The U.S. in their security agency found Diezani to have collected gratification of almost £12 million in contracts that she awarded Omokore and Aluko. These are guys who were discharged in Nigerian courts. In Nigeria here.
It was only Omokore that was discharged.
Omokore
and Dr. Aluko.
They were discharged here. And the EFCC have found that they own properties in Dubai, close to, there's a 44 dirham property. It's just alarming, depressing to read this story.
I read some articles over the weekend, I think on the internet, saying that the yacht Aluko bought was $80 million. And my husband was saying that money can actually, do you know how many hospitals you can build with $80 million? Even if you stole the money, but bring that money to Nigeria. Let us employ the Nigerian youth. You can even install a governor.
This is why in certain climes, they would kill them for this kind of thing, because you know the number of lives that they would indirectly kill, the number of lives that they would indirectly take because this kind of monies were diverted into the wrong for personal use. We could have hospitals, people could, they were running away with proper machines, roads.
Of the revenue. This is what happened when the NNPC, the international companies sold their own shares to the Nigerian companies. Omokore's AEDC actually then became the partner with the NNPC subsidiary NPDC also to help provide the technical capabilities required to do the oil and gas production. So that's how now that company was only instituted within 3 weeks of there was a
suitcase company.
It was a suitcase company. Just kind of 3 months old company that are giving that kind of contract. It was an SAA alliance agreement
company quick and come and collect this contract.
That's exactly what happened. Exactly. And they got that money and they were running away with 70% of the revenue.
I have a question. Who is prosecuting
in Nigeria?
Diezani? Who is prosecuting Aluko? Who is prosecuting Omokore?
Yes.
Anyway,
why do we lose cases in Nigeria that is
in a not case, that money has it's gone.
Conspiracy and complete.
Moving on to this day, our last paper. Nigeria, a governance question or structural defect. Leaders weigh in. Taraba governor, I'd rather sacrifice myself than lose more citizens. FG lost $6 billion to DPR's poor administration of divested oil blocks. That's exactly what we're talking about. Okay, so who has that story? Nigeria, governance question.
I read it too.
It's the Taraba governor story I read.
So our leaders were just coming together to say that the way Nigeria was structured is why everybody is shouting restructuring. That means a different thing to different people in different regions. And so they came together to talk about what restructuring should be.
So we're still going around
that. Is a structural defect that we have.
We all agree, but how do we come about restructuring? That's the next question now. That's all we can take on front page review. When we return, federal government moves to stop production of local movies and music abroad. And later on, we talk how can we control the imminent flood disaster in Nigeria. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So the federal government says it has taken steps to amend the Nigeria Broadcasting Code to discourage the production of Nigerian movies and music outside the country. According to the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the situation had hampered empowerment of practitioners in the industry, the development of the sector, and the nation's economy in general. However, this government has agreed that henceforth, whatever we consume in Nigeria in terms of music and films must be made in Nigeria. If this is enforced, shouldn't there be a need to create an enabling environment for better quality production? It's your view. Let it count. You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. So we watch all these nice music videos, all the nice movies. We like the scenery, the UK. We like all the nice rail lines, you know, the beautiful, you know, sceneries in other countries. Even in South Africa, most of our music videos, our artists go down there to produce their music videos. Now, the minister is now saying that, listen, produce these things in Nigeria because they're supposed to be consumed in Nigeria. And people are thinking,
I agree with him.
You agree? Okay, you disagree?
I disagree with him.
Okay.
If you actually want to do that, first of all, let's look at the consumer of this product. We have a larger number of the youth, and the majority of them have their phones, laptops, and they watch videos outside the country. They see musicals outside the country that are tech and with high quality. Now, if you want, people know that, okay, these youthful people are attracted to these things. If we want them to patronize us, it has to get to that level. So you go outside the country to do these things. Now let's look at to the environment that you have in Nigeria here. First of all, power supply. How are you going to say that with the kind of power supply we have, you want to shoot a movie? What do you have for it? Look at the roads. So before you begin to talk about people coming back to the country to do their movies, talk about the infrastructure that they need to do these things.
Fantastic. All right, let me come to you.
I agree that we might not necessarily have all the infrastructure, but I've seen videos shot outside this country and I wonder, what's this landscape inside video? Just because you want to have foreigners who are supposedly, you know, have all the assets shaking their bum on your video. I've seen some videos, I'm completely totally irritated by what I see. What you just go there, you get a car park, you shoot the musical video and you have girls shaking all over. It's not like you're showing scenery, you're showing the environment, showing anything beautiful. And you have places in Nigeria, if we could just appreciate our own. You see, I remember growing up as a child, we watched videos of the Hollywood, so-called, that they were not up to par with what we see today. They improved over time because they took ownership of what was theirs. Nigerians just have a bit of money and the director says, okay, I'll shoot your video, but not here. You cited power. But we've had shows, they do, I don't want to name names, but we know there's this live reality show they do over time. And they do it here in Nigeria. And we still do not have power. We could strike this cost. It doesn't mean that we will not continue to advocate that things are improved, that, you know, we get power, that we get this. In my area, for instance, now, we didn't start like this, but today, over the weekend, I had more than 24 hours power each day.
Also, but the fact that the world is a global village now, all of you are watching cable. Many homes now are exposed. They're no more watching the regular NTA and everything. Everybody's now on cable. So the tastes of your consumers are already exposed to new options. So what would you say? So now the issue is a commercial question. It's a capital, yeah, go ahead.
We then decry the fact that tourism is dying here and is growing out there. When we're not willing to do anything just because we have a global village and we know that, you know, over there things are better done.
Nima.
We could show our own, try to change the picture, put things in perspective for people to wish to come here. We could give our own some credibility in our shots. The directors, the video producers, everybody in this issue for me are culpable.
All right. Nima, so I want to go to Yankari Games Reserve. Where the road where I go past? when I can enter plane and in 6 hours I don't reach Joburg, where everything seems to work. What the issue is infrastructure. Yeah. But I want to focus on the minister himself. And he has said, well, I heard allegations, that we criticize with sensation. But I looked at this issue well, and I was looking for the place to, because, see, in the report, he was saying that he would go and have a talk with the stakeholders. Is that not putting the cart before the horse? Shouldn't you have spoken to the stakeholders first before saying you're going to change the NBC code? Now, in this report, he had gone to Copyright Commission and he was talking to Tony Okoroji. He was escorted by the NTA DG and the DG of FRCN. And, you know, the issue of copyright came up, and that's why he was saying what he was saying. But then again, this same minister of information was the one who told us that they will provide jobs for youth by masquerading. The Lagos at 50 event just happened and Eyo came out. I'm not sure that we employed 1,000 youths in Eyo. Is this same minister who has told us that the president is very okay and in capable hands where he is abroad? Does he not also know that if it was compulsory for the president to be treated in Nigeria, the Nigerian health sector also would improve? Okay. Why are they talking with both sides of their mouth? Okay. Now, the Nollywood and music industry is self-funded by individuals who go abroad because they realize that whatever money I put into my production abroad, I will recoup with more profits than if I did it in Nigeria. Okay. We had wedding party in Nigeria and it went and it sold out and they made a lot of money. Right. But guess what? Wedding party was just in one location in a hotel, maybe a few other people's houses. It's unlike when you need to go on the road, you don't have the
Thank you for bringing the issue of wedding party, and even I was going to even refer to 50 because going back to the issues of infrastructure is what you have, you project. If you don't have anything, you're not going to project anything. Almost all the movies, hang in there. Recently, almost all the new movies, the urban movies we're seeing now, is portraying that Ikoyi bridge between Ikoyi and Lekki. Okay. That link bridge. That's the only bridge. Because the government has provided that bridge, the movie producers are using that and we're projecting that. So anybody watching can see what we have. So if you don't put infrastructure in place, we have nothing to sell. We have nothing to project. That's what I'm saying. However, I think
that was Lagos State government.
Yes, but I think the minister actually was more focusing on our crew, not so much of the location. He wants you to engage Nigeria. So, for example, I gather all Nigerians.
And take them to South Africa.
I will take them to South Africa.
For how? How come?
I'm just saying that it's the crew. Because you can pick any location for your production.
May I say that Jumoke helped when she mentioned Yankari?
Yes.
Now, we have locations.
Have you been to Yankari?
Wait. We are not just willing. If I, for instance, want to shoot a video in Yankari now, I have even attempted. And then I petition the right authority and say, things are not in place. This is a government-owned reserve. And you know, wait. And you criticize, and then you come on the news and you say, okay, this is my effort, and this is why things are not working this way. These people have never spoken. Now, I want to quickly finish that Donald Duke as governor then built a Tinapa. Yes. He built Tinapa, put everything in place in Tinapa. But today, we would love to bring it down rather than utilize it.
They have tried.
I have seen a video. I have seen a video a musical video that was shot at Whispering Palms in Badagry. And when YK was saying that place was Whispering Palms in Badagry, I said it was impossible. Okay, pause. Because the video was you know, creative.
Okay, so yes, I do. So what you're saying, right, is that there are places to use.
Okay, is important.
Let me take this call. Shola, are you still there?
I'm there.
Morning. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm the first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, there's something that is so funny about this country. I wouldn't know why they would do that at this time. Our president is sick. They took him to England.
God bless you, Shola.
You know, upgrade the hospitals there and treat him. And they're now bouncing on the filmmakers. The pirates are there. They are disturbing these guys every now and then. They've not seen anything to do to him.
God bless you, Shola.
Even banning them from doing things on their social. So please, they should stop that propaganda or whatever it is. Just stop it. It shouldn't even come to
private business.
These guys, I'm not in the movie industry, but these guys are going through hell to produce something
with their own money.
With their own money.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shola. Let me come to Esther. Yes.
Before the minister will say anything about this, first of all, we have a 2017 budget and all the budgets we've been having. Where is a budget for the entertainment industry? Is there a budget for it? So why would you tell people not to go outside the country if they know they can cut costs with the transportation,
but the ministry has actually expressed their support.
So they were saying that they were going to do tax holidays for entertainers who want to produce locally. That's good news. But remember Omoni Oboli, how many times was she shouting that they are on set in Lagos, touts? Several times you come to them and say, we're Omonile. Will you not choose to fly yourself to South Africa where there's a semblance of an industry than when Omonile? How has any government official responded to Omoni Oboli and said that we'll secure you when you are producing your movies in Lagos?
Should not be shouting. She should petition the commissioner of police of any state that I want to shoot at location.
Exactly.
You need to. Security threats. You petition the right authority.
Okay, we have
then when they don't do anything, you call on people.
So what Nima is saying is that if you want to produce, we can't take. If you want to produce any movie, petition the commissioners before you now shoot a movie, so that you have a free flow of production. All right. I think that we've summarized it. Let's take a break. When we come, unfortunately, let me allow one tweet.
MZ says, for your information, our architect just lost in a major design competition because most of our designs are borrowed. Okay. George says, this is a good idea by the Information Ministry. Producing our movies and videos in Nigeria will promote our tourism.
That's all we can take. Let's take a break. Now, when we come back, we discuss this issue of flood in Lagos and Nigeria generally. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So the 2017 annual flood outlook has raised concerns again over the federal and state government's preparation to mitigate the effects of an impending flooding. According to the Minister of Water Resources, Mr. Suleiman Adamu, he stated that approximately 30 states and over 100 local government areas were categorized as high flood risk areas and therefore should expect flooding. Areas like Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Calabar, possible coastal flooding in these places were mentioned in the NIHSA's flood outlook. Now, however, the case of Lagos State is unique because it is very low lying and there is reclamation of wetlands, which ordinarily should be buffers for floods. How do we avert the this imminent situation? Joining us, imminent actually situation. Joining us is a creation career and environmentalist engineer Desmond Majakodomi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag Your View TVC so we can read your tweets. So in the recent times, everybody's been talking flooding. So we're hearing different versions. Everybody's saying the issue is proper drainage systems. But I wanted to come on the angle from an environmentalist. The fact that we need more greeneries. The fact that Lagos as an urban city doesn't have enough. And I know our former governor then was trying to get people to plant trees. Is this an effect of the fact that we don't have a lot of greenery? Is this an effect of the issue of flooding that we're seeing today? Or how would you connect both? The fact that we don't have enough greenery, how would you connect with the issue with the flooding?
Well, the reality is that the sort of floods that we had in Lagos, totally unprecedented. And some people would say that we've gone too far in the wrong direction. And this is not just Lagosians, this is not just Nigerians, this is we, humanity, globally. Because what actually caused that flooding? No matter what type of infrastructure you would have had in place, it would have been totally overwhelmed. It was on the last day, right? On the last day, on the Friday evening. The volume of rain that fell during that period of about 5 or 6 hours was unprecedented, coming to meet already saturated groundwater levels because rain had been falling for 4 or 5 days, right? Unprecedented volume of rain, and at the same time, a very, very high, almost unprecedented high level of lagoon water. These two things are classic symptoms of what? Climate change. Classic symptoms climate change that is brought about by global warming. And it's, you know, it's very, very simple physics. You warm water, it evaporates. And in a warm atmosphere, like you have in the tropical climate, it absorbs and holds more water. Global warming has been causing these sorts of things, unprecedented weather occurrences. The sort of weather occurrences that would happen maybe once every 20 years or once every 50 years are now happening 2, 3, 4 times a year globally. So this is the major cause. It would have overwhelmed whatever you put in place. Now, for the water not to recede on time, that's when you start looking at the lack of infrastructure, the abuse of the drainage systems that have been put there, and also fundamentally, again, something which is close to what is causing climate change is this arrogance that we have as mankind, as humanity, that we can just go in and do whatever we want with nature. In the case of a place like Lekki or even Victoria Island and parts of Ikoyi, it's, okay, this is a wetland. Go and sand fill. Go and sand fill. Yeah, reclamation. Shebi is just mud. What do we call it? Poto. It has a role to play. The God that created this heaven and earth is an infinitely wise God, and he created a perfect system. And the wetlands that you have is the system that is in place to absorb
when you talk global warming, an average Nigerian just thinks Shebi is where they flare gas, because you know that's how we contribute to global warming. We think is where they flare the gas. That's where, so we shouldn't have flooding in Lagos, for instance, because we don't have any refinery here. But in the Niger Delta, we would expect that's the problem. How does global warming happen in an environment like Lagos, for instance, and how can we curb it? How can we change our ways? Does our lifestyle, like the generators that we use, does any of those things contribute to global warming within our environment?
Oh, I love that question, because the interesting thing about global warming is that it is the first time that the whole of humanity, from Lekki to mainland, to Niger State, to Kaduna, to Kenya even, to India, to China, to America, the whole of humanity is faced with a common problem. And what you're talking about, the gas flaring, that's a little part of it. Burning generator is a little part of it. Global warming was caused by, again, this arrogance and this total disregard for a perfect system that God had put in place, which makes this planet Earth a diamond, habitable, a diamond in the sky.
Okay, let me pause you for a second, because what I'm hearing is that because global warming is a global problem, so it's not necessarily our own fault that we have those rains coming down, the floods coming in. But where our own problem is the poor drainage systems. The fact that that's
why it's not receding.
That's why it's not receding. That's really the issue.
That's part of the problem. That's part of the issue. That's part of the problem. Our problem is the same problem that is afflicting mankind generally, this disregard for nature, this lack of love for nature, this lack of care for the creation. Because we're having this lack of drainage, and we're going and doing this type of sand filling in a place that has a natural role to play without putting the necessary things in place.
The Minister of Water Resources was saying that we expect these things because of the monsoon rains, right? And that every government should ensure that people do not build where they ought not to. For instance, on top of drainages, and you know,
lack of integrity. I mean, how can you build on a floodplain? A floodplain. That name, a floodplain. The plane upon which flood will come, and you go and build on the floodplain, and you probably got certification and regulation together. Luckily, Lagos is dealing with that very seriously. They're taking no more of this nonsense.
I wanted to talk about
so don't go and buy land
in Lekki. I wanted to talk about the role of government, because if we know that this will happen and the water table of Lagos is already high, you know, why it is the government who approve the building plans. If you haven't approved the building plan and the structure, you know, crops up, you ought to bring it down. So what's the role of government in Lagos flooding?
The role of government in Lagos flooding is to do what exactly they did when the flood came. I was very, very impressed, because they went right out to the people and they said, look, don't panic. no cause for alarm. Because, you know, floods happen in London, floods happen in New York, floods happen in Delhi, all over the world. And sometimes when these floods happen, they are drastic, they are catastrophic, they take hundreds of lives and so on. So they had assessed the situation. And they had realized, okay, this is a bad one, but it will recede. There's no more heavy rain coming, the water will go down. So they told people, don't panic, which I thought was, you know, was very good.
In 2012, over 300 people, exactly 363 people died. Over 2 million people lost their homes. And that was when the Nigerian Meteorological Agency came out to say that in 2017, that was only 2016, they came out to say, in 2017, this will be unprecedented, it will be worse. Having that testimony or oversight saying, what is the government supposed to do to say, okay, we've seen this coming, we are doing this? What are they supposed to do?
Enough
to stop?
Thank you for that question, because you don't even need the Meteorological Society to tell you. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, in 2017, that by 2018, 2020, it's going to get worse. Global warming is real, going to get heavy, heavy rain. So what we got to do is exactly what was done just, I think, a few days ago. Ecological fund. Trillions and trillions of millions.
1.6 billion.
No, the money has been there from time.
Right.
Yeah.
But what we didn't do was allocate the money to the right places that it's supposed to be allocated. And finally, they're saying, okay, we're going to bring money from the ecological fund and dedicate it to protecting. You have to adapt and you have to mitigate against the ravages of the climate, which are going to be coming. It's an awesome responsibility. It's a huge responsibility for government, but we're so glad that it's being used that way.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk, take calls and tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, when this whole flood happened in Lagos, a lot of Lagosians living in that area, the Lekki, have this issue of fear. They're scared. What's the future? Even those living in the mainland are saying, I don't want to go to the island. I don't want to leave. I'd rather just stay here.
Yes, sir.
There's this general fear of moving to that side of town. In your view, is it a wrong investment to go to live in Lekki area or the Aja area, or do you think by just fixing the drainages everything will be okay? What exactly? Just help. I need you something to alleviate the fears of Nigerians concerning that region.
Yeah, it's very, very relevant, you know. And I think the mainland people were really posing and bluffing very
at the time.
They said, hey. But no, it's this. We have, thank God, we have responsible people in positions. I'm not saying everybody in government is responsible, far from it. But we do have some specific leaders, strong leaders in government who are very, very responsible, and they're going to take the necessary measures. For now, I wouldn't advise anybody not to move to that area.
I don't live on the island, and I don't live exactly on the mainland. I live close to the shoreline as well. I see people build houses without proper gutter plans, connect their drainages not to a septic tank but to the gutters, to the road, not gutters now because they don't have. You know, their shower, everything, they pour it on the road. In a certain area in Ojo, that's Iba, you drive all through. You have water constantly, whether it's rainy season, whether it's dry season, in the middle of all the road. Because everybody's bathroom water is in the middle of the road. How are we contributing individually to the situation that we have? When is likely to reoccur on the mainland in areas like Okoko, Ojo and all that? Are we safe exactly? Because I see people saying Lekki is just a makeup of Okoko. But you know, when is it likely to happen? Is it going to get to them because of their lifestyle?
No, it's a very good question. And again, it raises this fundamental issue of our attitude towards nature, towards the environment. It must change. It has to change now. In days gone
town
by,
planning.
We could do all sorts of things. You have to do correct town planning. Yeah, and if they default on the type of time plan, if they default on it, there should be heavy sanctions. Don't take it lightly at all. Lives and property are at risk.
Let me take this call from Redeem Camp. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
My name is Oswin. I'm calling from Redemption Camp.
Hi, go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Well, I really like your program, and I want to comment on the flooding in Lagos because I was at Lekki just one day to be precise when this rain was falling, and I was stranded there for up to 3 days.
Wow.
Even though it was not my house, I had to stay put because I couldn't move.
Wow.
I don't know, with what our guest has said, that there was nothing, no structure that would have been able to prevent the flood. Is there a way we can use the flood to actually help the country? Maybe use it as a dam so that at least we can be getting light from it. So when there's rain,
generating power,
we won't be having problems. We have actually be solving a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want to say I really like your show.
Thank you very much, Oswin.
Watches you guys every day.
Thank you very much, Oswin. Yes.
Minister of Water Resources said as much, that we can, create dams. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's a bit difficult. Lagos is in a unique situation, and it's very, very vulnerable because it's so low-lying. Where are you going to create the dam? And when you have high water level, on top of unprecedented heavy rain, there will be issues. They have to really relook at the whole master plan and stick to it properly.
Now, a lot of Lekki residents were blaming the government for Eco-Atlantic, and there's also reclamation going on at Oronshoki presently. Do you think that that added to the flooding in Lekki?
Entirely two different things. The Oronshoki reclamation, very, very possible because you're upsetting the natural depth of the lagoon. Eco-Atlantic is only reclaiming land that was there before. Bar Beach used to be there. I know you're far too young to... Are you saying you can't remember Bar Beach? You're too young to remember Bar Beach.
I went to Bar Beach and she's older than I am.
Okay.
But yeah, so they're reclaiming land that used to be there, so that's not going to cause flooding. There are issues with Eco-Atlantic, but we won't go into that right now.
How would you advise the government? There was a man that actually lost his 2 wives and about 7 children in Suleja. Then some people that have lost their property, their lives to this. How can they pacify these people? How can the government come into their situation?
Oh, it is totally, totally heart-wrenching. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to reach out. But I think what they can do is let this prick their own conscience and let them appreciate some basic things about life. You know, whatever you sow, you shall surely reap. And in government, you're sowing into the lives of hundreds of thousands, billions of people. So do the right thing. Because maybe the wrong thing was done, and this guy now, because he was allowed to build in a floodplain or whatever, has now gone through this terrible, terrible tragedy. So do you want this to be repeating itself? For God's sake, appreciate the responsibility of governance.
Goes back to leadership. Let's take some
tweets, please. Ademiroju says, we need to build a culture of respect for environment and teach it in our schools to promote the offenses of environmental abuse. Construction of drainages, that's Emmanuel Raphael saying, construction of drainages isn't enough to curb this recurring phenomenon. Maintenance has always been a problem, and truly, we don't maintain anything.
There's a question from Okpayemi Yek saying, the great environmentalists question, what can the poor masses do to prevent further flooding damages? So if flooding must happen, how do we prevent it from damaging our property?
Hold government accountable. The poor masses should know that the power is in their hands. This is a democracy, and they should tell people that our mumu don't do. We're not going to take bad governance. Luckily, we're getting good governance in Lagos.
And in view of that statement...
Now, in view of that statement, we are having local government elections in Lagos State on 22nd of July. This Saturday, we all must go out. Our mumu must do. Our local governments are the ones who are supposed to be responsible for coming to us, the grassroots. So go out and vote for the right people.
Absolutely.
That's all we can take on the show. I hope you guys have a permanent voters card. Have a lovely day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.